Hey, bobbery bop, scooby up, you chickaboom, shabado, shabado, skibbity up, boo, wakawoo.
He's recording his own
Bada, bing.
scat album.
Said a hip hop, a hippie to the hip hop. You don't stop rocking to the bang bang boogie. So up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogity beat.
That's our intro.
There we go.
Church in space.
Welcome everybody to Church in Space.
In 3D.
Hey. All right. So today's episode is Half-Baked Ideas.
Welcome to our native state.
Right.
Yes.
So these are all the ideas we have about both science fiction and church that we think would be good ideas, but we also haven't fully thought through them, you know, and so and that's why they're half-baked, because if we had fully thought through them, we would have executed them, and we clearly haven't executed them because this is like you've been thinking in the shower about, you know, this might work. But you don't spend all that much time thinking that hard about it. Make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
So round one is going to be science fiction ideas, and then round two is going to be church ideas. And that's how we'll do this.
All right.
So I will start with...
I figured out my church idea and my science fiction at the same time.
I'm glad. Extra points if they're one and the same. So my science fiction idea, my half-baked idea, is a television series. Pay attention, Paramount. I'm pitching you an idea. What's Star Trek on? Is it Paramount?
Paramount.
Yeah. Okay. So pay attention, Paramount Plus. I'm pitching you an idea here.
This is how we knew it was half-baked. You didn't even know what platform it's on.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's so the idea is a new Star Trek television series. Since you know they're on a great run, we're in this golden age of we have more Trek on TV now than we've ever had in my lifetime. You know, since at least that brief overlap of DS9, Voyager, TNG. You know, like it's great how much Trek we have. So this is it is a 5 to 6 season television show. That's all it has to be, and it is the Earth-Romulan War. That's a television show. All right. So here's how it goes. It picks up. Enterprise ends like in 2154, 2155. And the Earth-Romulan War starts in 2156 and runs 4 years. Right. You pick up on a slight overlap with that last season of Enterprise, right, where the Romulans are doing their shenanigans and the alliance is coming together, you know, and it picks up and it's and somebody's taken over one of the new NX ships. Even that's all it has to be, right? Like whether it's Columbia or like one of the other new ones, right? And it's brand new captain, and this captain has to navigate as both diplomat and eventual warrior as. We get like 2 seasons of build up toward the war, and then the final 4 seasons are the war itself. Ends on the peace treaty and the establishment of the Romulan neutral zone. Can take all the good things about the Dominion War, right?
Yeah.
And then it can, you know, move the Trek universe forward a bit in a timeline we don't know a lot about.
But is it half-baked enough? It sounds a little bit more well-done than half-baked.
It might be 2/3 baked, but I'll accept 2/3 baked.
Yeah. I think you were.
I don't have casting suggestions, you know, and I don't know what season by season it is. It's just kind of like, you know, I think you could do a lot with since we've kind of mastered. I think Trek's gotten a lot better at like multi-season story arcs, and they've shown they can do like confined narrative space, like with Picard.
Yes.
You know, and so
especially the last season.
Right.
Wow.
And so this has a confined narrative space. It's the 4 years of the Earth-Romulan War, according to canon, plus like 1 to 2 seasons of build up, depending on how much you want. I think it could be good.
Now, is this from the Federation perspective?
Yes, I think it's technically it's Earth because Federation doesn't exist yet, right? It's the Earth-Romulan War. They're allies with all the other races, but they're not.
We haven't formed the Federation.
We haven't formed the Federation yet.
I thought that was the end of Enterprise. They were forming the Federation.
I think it was, but canon-wise, I think it's still the Federation doesn't exist quite. It's an alliance at that point. It's not like the institutional Federation, which could be part of the cool show, right? Is the show ending on the formation, the real like uniforms are changing over.
Yeah, let's see. It was the founders were humans, Vulcans, Andorians, and Tellarites. And I believe the Earth-Romulan War is what convinced the Tellarites. It was either the Tellarites or the Andorians. They hated each other.
Yeah.
And it was the war that convinced one of the two to actually join the Federation, to form.
Right.
I think
join us in forming the
Tellurites,
Federation.
because the Andorians are the blue ones with the antennas,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
I remember that there's one kind of dickish character on Enterprise. So I think the Andorians were there at the beginning. I don't think the other ones were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would take your half-baked idea and say, do it from the Romulan perspective, where the enemy is the humans.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a cool, like, dueling perspectives. Like, one episode is from the Romulans' perspective, one side is from the human perspective.
I think dueling perspectives would be key, especially because then it honors the first time we ever saw the Romulans with Balance of Terror.
Yeah.
Because that was a very good cat and mouse game where the Romulan commander, as played by Mark Leonard, was not painted as a villain, was not painted as automatically villainous. And it was clear he had great respect for Kirk, and they ended up respecting each other. So it wasn't that cut and dry, black and white, the Romulans are the bad guys and the humans are the good guys. And I think the series would need to maintain that, maintain interest.
I think you could do a cool thing. This is partially why I liked it. I think you could do a cool thing of like taking that kind of like grittier DS9 feel that like I really don't like, but a lot of people really do. And you could take that as like, well, it's grittier because it's not even the Federation yet. It's just, it's Earth coming out of an apocalyptic war.
And like toddlers, we're feeling our way.
Right,
because
we're feeling
the Vulcans won't reveal everything to us yet.
Right, with like these allies who don't quite trust each other yet.
Or us.
Or us. Like,
We don't trust ourselves.
we don't really trust ourselves. And you could do this cool thing where like narratively the one trajectory is on the human side, it's on that way toward that Federation idealism. Where on the other side it's the Romulans toward their manipulative like scheming, and you could watch how like this war both set the tone for the Federation as this, very idealistic, almost utopian society, and Romulans became their kind of scheming mirror image, and I think you could do a cool narrative thing there where watching those trajectories rise and fall.
Yeah, it would also be interesting because it's clear, again, from Balance of Terror and one of the episodes of Strange New Worlds, that no one knew what Romulans looked like, and even the Vulcans forgot.
Right.
So that it would be interesting from the Romulan standpoint to dig deeper into that Vulcan-Romulan joint history. And how much do the Romulans still remember about their Vulcan roots?
Right. And like the series ended on this pure Romulan isolation, which isn't really broken until Balance of Terror, like could be a really cool narrative thing, And so anyway, I think there's a lot of room for a great 5 to 6 season television very limited narrative arc.
I think that is a great half-baked, although I'm with Drew. I think you've thought it through way more than half.
It's 2/3. But again, I don't have casting decisions, but
Or the funding. If you had the funding, it's definitely not a half-baked idea.
I don't have funding. I don't have scripts written. I don't have I don't have narrative arcs other than like very broad categories. I always love the Daedalus class. It's the one with the sphere as its saucer section, in that one TS. And they say it's from that period, the Earth-Romulan War. And I love how odd that ship looks. And so you could have a whole, I think this series would focus on like a Daedalus class vessel or something like that at some point.
And interesting trivia, that was one of the original designs for the Enterprise.
Yeah, it's totally, it's so obscure and it's so weird. And I think it's a cool, it's a cool design for a ship.
It is very cool. Yeah. But very, very 50s sci-fi in appearance.
Oh, yeah, but that's what would be great about it. You could have a whole show with like 50s sci-fi aesthetic.
Yeah, that's true. Like the pilot episode for Trek.
Right.
Had that very 50s aesthetic to it.
And like the pitch for why it looks that way is because it's these ships that you had to build really fast because they're in the middle of a war and they just had to assemble them as whatever parts were around.
Crank them out.
Because they're in a full-fledged, full-scale war against the Romulans.
Yeah, that's true. And the atmospheric pressure pushing on the outside of the ship, of the hull, would be more evenly distributed.
Right.
In a sphere.
It doesn't have an advanced life support system,
so
it's got to be a sphere.
Right.
And,
that makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Right. So, Dan, what's your half-baked idea?
My half-baked idea actually starts merging into religion as well.
Okay.
Church. So it's probably not the same as yours, Drew. But mine is more half-baked than yours.
Okay, that's fine.
Or lesser baked.
Yeah.
And it's basically church in space. Damn it! Well, let's see if it's the same. This one is, because we've talked before about how all sci-fi, it doesn't have a lot of religious stuff going on typically.
Yeah.
So I would like to follow the Catholic and Orthodox churches as they expand out into space following people.
Yeah.
The series would focus not on a human priest, but on like an spider-like alien Franciscan priest.
I'm out. I'm totally out.
We can workshop this is why it's half baked. We can workshop the actual species.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we can do that. But that's
an
the
alien, an alien Franciscan or an alien. Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, how do you adapt something as anthropomorphic as Christianity is, so that aliens so totally buy into it that they join? And what I like is, you have that hierarchy and 2,000-year history, and that's why the Catholic Church would be what we follow.
Right.
I want that ancient medieval structure itself, expanding out into space and how that looks.
You almost want to do like Canticle for Leibowitz.
Yes, basically just
space.
off planet.
Yeah. Fair enough, yeah. Written the right way, I think it could be like a really cool, whether it's a Franciscan on Starship 22, on the way to Alpha Centauri, or, like the chaplain on the Generation ship on the way to Alpha Centauri. Would be a fascinating series.
Well, and given historically how slow the Catholic Church moves, the distance in space, the fact that it would take like 4 years round trip for a message to get to and from the alien bishopric, well, no big deal, because they're not going to make a decision for 400 years anyway.
Right, they're not going to make a huge decision anyway, right? Yeah, I mean.
So that's another reason why focusing on something as old and slow moving as the Catholic Church would make it interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll count that as a good extra point for you for a religion and science fiction idea.
Thank you. And now Drew is looking at me enviously.
Well, because I had a slightly different idea.
Okay.
And actually, both of mine are church in space. One is church in space, and one's in 3D.
Okay. Okay.
So my scenario with the church in space is, at this point, something's gone on with Earth. And we all have to leave.
Okay.
And it's the people in the congregation that just want to say, because this is how we've always done it, versus, the people that, okay, we have to go out. We have to do this.
Yeah.
At this point, there's aliens involved. Like, one of the episodes is when an alien comes into church, how you treat them, things like that. That's the sitcom would be my way of doing church in space. Not really.
Dan's like prestige TV. You're like,
I'm the complete opposite.
I want like sitcom, like half hour
laugh track. Him track in there too.
I'm HBO Max. You're ABC.
Right.
No, we would both be on HBO, but I would lead into yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would be the sitcom that's a lead into yours.
Yours would star Larry David.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Larry David as the priest.
No. As the disgraced priest that's in the back that has to make notes of everything.
Yeah, okay. I'm sold.
Okay.
That's a bit more quarter baked, but it's I'm sold on it. It's good.
Oh, there's more to it, but
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Without giving too much away, so HBO doesn't grab the idea.
See, I just want mine made, so if Paramount wants to steal mine, I'm totally okay.
Well, if we're talking about like things that we want to get made, then that changes my answer.
No, I think yours is good. Yours.
I mean, it's a good idea, but then if we're like half baked ideas that we want to actually see, Lower Decks but Star Wars.
Lower Decks but Star Wars. Okay. Would it be Empire or would it be Rebel focused?
Empire's been done in a lot of parodies on YouTube. I think Rebel focus would be better.
I would actually say more of like High Republic era, something that's not been done a lot of. But
like
there's
the janitorial service at the Jedi Temple or something.
Hello.
Yes, yes, the janitorial or like
you're a full on Jedi. You're like head janitor. We're talking about like the guys who report to you.
Okay.
Yes,
like the people getting like work study credit, or something like that.
The intern,
right? What's the funding structure for the Jedi Temple? I want to know, like that's my like, do they charge tuition to all those kids that they kidnap?
Yeah, that's a good point, because they do. They functionally kidnap these kids,
right? Like,
so
how are they also paying for all of the ships?
I know, right? Like, what's the funding structure for the Jedi Temple?
Is it just religious exemption for everything?
Well, but that doesn't. I mean, tax breaks alone doesn't like. Is there a republic like we vote to fund the Jedi Temple bill?
That's what I'm thinking.
It's either that or it's extortion, or every time they buy something, they say, these aren't the credits you're looking for.
This isn't the ship you're looking for.
The Jedi are engaged in one giant fraud conspiracy.
Yeah, it's this huge fraud scam. And that's the real reason they tumble at the end.
Yeah, they're getting audited.
Yeah.
The fall of the Jedi Temple was not due to Anakin Skywalker, but it was an audit. It was a defense audit.
Anakin was just a PR front.
Right.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay.
Under the defensive capabilities of the Jedi. That's what it was.
Palpatine's
Like one of those guys that we see in like those giant like endless rooms of cubicles.
Yes.
Like he finally is like stubbing across their account books and like they haven't paid for food in 400 years. Like
This electric bill, it's
Right.
3,000 years old.
what's 3,000 years past due?
Yeah.
Why are the lights still on?
How are the lights still on is also the thing.
There's lots of questions I have about the Jedi. No.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
All right.
Yeah, I like that. I think we need a caveat here, a warning. Any producers who pick up on any of these ideas, we don't ask for a lot,
Yeah.
but we do ask to be cast, even if it's just as regular
You have to,
extras in
one,
the
share
background.
this podcast.
Yes.
Two,
You must share this podcast with 3 people. Otherwise,
you must share this podcast on your Twitter account. And two,
Cast us in some role, even if it's in the background.
right, we just don't want background roles. That's all.
I'm willing to be the Lieutenant Leslie of any new series.
Right. Right. I'm willing to be the dead body on the Earth-Romulan War. Dead body number
Every
2.
episode, you just see me floating through space.
Right, yeah. I'm willing to
that's
be
a
that.
great idea. Just have like one character that's always dead. It's the same
Always
my actor
dead.
that's
I
in
know.
every single episode, but somehow dies.
I didn't
and
have
it's
any
like,
acting dreams except one, which was to be the dead body on Law and Order. That's like my only.
we can make that happen.
That's like my only vision in life. I didn't have dreams of fame. It was like I just want to be the dead body, have Lenny Briscoe and Detective Green find me once.
I am a professional corpse.
Right. Yeah.
As long as you're not being typecast, that's good.
That's fine, right? Yeah.
No, I think that'd be better.
He does dead really well.
Then only Kate gets the royalties. So,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, right. Okay, so Drew, what's your church idea?
So actually, Church in Space,
Okay.
but in 3D. And I was not kidding on that one. I was trying to get the 2-for-1 kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, doing this podcast and like making it bigger, getting more people involved because, you know, there's so many of us out there.
Yeah, so many nerds. Okay.
Yes.
I'll take that. That's a good.
I mean, you know, we did awesome podcast with Julia and Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really want to do that again because as much as, you know, our half-baked ideas are fun, it's a lot more exciting to have someone else's half-baked ideas.
Yes. Well, right. Yeah. Okay.
But we need a budget because I need to get a better mixer and recorder.
Fair enough.
Mixer, I hardly know her.
All right. So actually, so your it's not so half baked. That's fine though. That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Dan, your church.
Very counter to what would be expected of me. I want us to do the brewery.
Okay.
The official church
So,
brewery. Even though I don't drink, and specifically I don't drink beer, I love the idea.
I've never seen you drink beer before.
No,
Fair
but I love the idea of having an in-church brewery.
Uh-huh.
It's not only because of Luther's great, affinity for beer, so it would be a tribute to the founder of this denomination.
Yeah.
But also the long-standing general Catholic and Lutheran tradition of beer brewing. You know, every monastery in Europe, regardless of its denomination, brewed beer and became famous for it in its town. So I think this is something that helps Christianity get back to its roots.
Should talk to my friend Jay. It's what his church is doing.
Well, see, his is fully
So-
baked, so we can borrow recipe
He's
tips
got a
from him.
business plan and everything.
This is a half baked that could turn full baked like that because of him. Okay, we need to look into
okay,
this.
so Pastor, we have talked about this in the past. We've also talked about, getting grants for for the podcast. So what's holding you up there, you good buddy? Where's our brewery grant, and where's the grant for
Where's the brewery?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the holdup is there's other things that I do in my job besides this podcast.
Look, Yeah, Dave, there's a thing called priorities.
I know,
right?
Who needs the dead people that I have to bury?
I mean, they're already dead.
Let the dead bury their own dead.
I have a good half-baked idea. We're just going to have a rotating series of guest members of the congregation doing sermons. That way you can take Sundays off to like draft all of these.
I like that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, as far as the dead equation part of your job, half-baked idea number 2, we originate Soylent Green in reality. Boom.
No.
Taken care of.
No. Soylent Green's bad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it does very...
I thought it was a utopian movie.
Sure you did. Including the dump trucks.
Yes!
that just shove people
freaking
in.
Awesome.
Just like shove... It's such a it's almost like a Muppet sketch, like the dump trucks that take up rioters.
Dump them in
right, yeah.
Haul them off to the detention center. Yeah.
Okay. No, I like that's I mean, the brewery's it's a good half-baked idea.
All right.
We can incorporate the hops with the Giving Garden.
Right.
And we've got a source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our old media director.
Mm-hmm.
We can get hops right from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's do it.
Yeah.
Office space right next to us is vacant. We can rent it out as our bar and
Bam.
Right on Main Street there. We're good.
That's too far. Way too far. We should do something in the back.
In the back part of the building.
Yes.
Okay. So my half-baked idea is I think the National Church for the ELCA should come out with website templates for churches. Now, this is half-baked because if you've ever been to the ELCA's website, it's a dumpster fire.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a dumpster fire mixed with the apocalypse. It's awful. And it got worse after they tried to upgrade it and change it.
So you're saying it's a dumpster filled with zombies on fire in the middle of the street?
Yes, yeah. With a black hole void opening up into hell. Okay. I mean, it's bad. It's a bad website. Sorry, ELCA. It just is. I love you, but I love you and I'm ordained through you. So
I mean, you have to love them, but
it's awful. But a lot of churches just either don't have websites or have really crappy websites, right? And they can't change this fact because they actually don't have the technical skill or the volunteers to do their websites well. We both paid to have a company kind of help us manage it because we knew we weren't doing so great. And we have communications committee, which every month says what needs to change about the website, so I've got the people here to do these things, and the people are willing to invest the money to do these things here. But most churches don't have that, right? My little inner city church didn't have this. The website only existed because of me, so my half-baked idea is that the National Church puts out 3 WordPress templates that are really simple, just plug in information and publish it.
Boom, go.
Right, boom and go. And there's the simple, intermediate, and advanced versions, right? So the simple is basically just a landing page. It says where your address is, what time service is, insert picture of the church here. Looks nice.
Yeah.
Maybe a welcome statement.
One thing that's critical that all 3 of those templates have is a built-in, non-erasable link to this podcast.
I think so.
Absolutely,
too.
right? Yeah, absolutely, right. Sponsored by Church in Space.
Yeah, if you don't have the pop-up ad.
No, better yet, it has pop-ups.
Pop-ups, yes.
Right. It has pop-ups, and it just aggressively pops up episodes of the show.
Yes, that's
just absolutely random episode.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's what we're going with.
We're going for spyware, too.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, the simple one is just here's a landing page, address of the church, what times worship are, here's a nice picture. Because every church needs a website. It's like not having a front sign, right? At this point, right? The website's basically your front sign. The intermediate ones, we have a few tabs, that, plus here's
about us.
Right, about us, ministry, a few more photos,
Church in Space.
Right, Church in Space.
I got to hammer that home. So whoever develops this, make sure.
So on the basic, you have all that one page in the top right-hand corner. It auto plays latest episode.
Right. This one has a tab devoted to our episodes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, but I mean, so on all of them, it has that little the box in the top right-hand corner, so it automatically plays. But there's a separate tab in the medium version.
Right. Church in Space.
Yeah.
Right.
And the luxury version.
The luxury version
actually has a tab that allows you to search all our episodes
Right.
for content.
Right. The luxury version is like, multiple ministries, multiple tabs, place for videos. Like there's a media page which has Church in Space on it,
But at the bottom of the page, there is a paywall. So you have to pay in order to not hear it.
I love it. Yes. Ransoming.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And then you could call up the National Church, just be like, we want a website.
Give us template B.
Give us template B. Bam, there it is. If you get the intermediate or the advanced versions, you get access to like adjusting it yourself. The other one is just, here it is.
Yeah, the plain one's mono. The other two, you get the stereo version because
Right.
Cathy produces this in stereo. But I think the luxury one, we could go to Atmos, Dolby Atmos mixing.
Oh,
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I like this plan.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my half-baked. It's half-baked because the National Church sucks at technology beyond all reason. And but I could see if somebody just provided funding for this and we get some outside company to do it, it would be totally worth it. So
Yeah, I like it. That reminds me, this is a no-baked idea because we haven't talked about it at all. We got to set up a swag shop. For the 20 people who listen to this episode or to this series,
what are we putting on our swag?
We have to give them an opportunity to buy swag. Knowing we're not going to get mega rich with a maximum potential sale of 20 units, but still,
Yeah, I was about to say, what is our swag? What does our swag even say?
I'm thinking like digital swag, like a wallpaper.
We have to have 3D
badge.
glasses. That's required.
Church in Space 3D.
I mean, that's
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, no, they're just glasses because you can always see in 3D, even with or without 3D glasses.
It could just be glasses that have just like normal clear film over them that says this allows you to see in 3D.
Yes.
I could see that. That could be
That would be a great gag gift.
2020's pet rock.
Right. It would be a great gag.
Yeah.
I would actually put those in like people's stocking stuffers. That could be a great gag gift.
2 more gag gifts. My ear, just do a casting of the ear in like a silicone thing or something like that.
You too can have Drew's bad ear.
And then Dan's hand with the missing finger.
Right.
That's it. We sell disappearing finger kits.
Yes.
Gloves with only
No, that's it. Gloves with only 4 fingers.
4 holes. Okay, so we got our funding. We're gonna figure out the funding for the brewery.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, okay. Thank you, everybody. This has been Church in Space.
In 3D.
See you later.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah, Drew.
Did you bring the half-baked ice cream?
I did indeed. Let me pour it out for you.
Okay, thanks.